Welcome to the I Love Coaching podcast, the show where we help coaches, entrepreneurs, and leaders build businesses that create massive impact. I'm Adam Roach, alongside my incredible co-host,
Jess Weber, and we're here today to bring you the best strategies, mindset shifts, and real-life success stories to help you level up in your coaching journey.
Whether you're launching your coaching business, scaling to 6 or 7 figures, or just looking for inspiration to push through, this podcast is your go-to resource.
We're bringing you expert insights, real talk, and actionable items every single episode. So if you're ready to take your coaching game to the next level,
then let's dive on in. Here's the problem. The problem is you're not converting enough to say that you have a business. And why are you not converting enough? It's very simple. You're not building enough trust. You're going in for a close. You're going in for an offer. You're going in right for, well, we call it the closing window. And the window is shut. And you're hitting your head right on that window because you haven't built enough trust. So Jess, today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the 7 platforms, the 7 mechanisms, the seven tools to build trust. And we're going to teach them. We want to teach all of you that all of these work, but they work at different levels, levels for building trust, because at the end of the day, people will buy with you because they want to, and people will buy with you and or from you because they trust you.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about these levels is honestly, they're related to speed as well. So What we found over the course of doing this, for years with a variety of coaches, is so often people will come in and they want to expedite the process, and yet they'll be playing in the space that builds the least amount of trust and takes the longest. And it's such a fascinating thing to be able to sit here and articulate this and teach this to people and yet not have them hear, listen, or implement.
That's very true. Well, because here's you nailed it. People want things now, right? They want things now. They want to be able to have an offer and then a close now, right? They want to jump on any kind of outward facing exposure and say, here's my product, buy it, please. And then when it doesn't work, they're like, oh, my product must be bad, or I must be a bad salesperson, or they're just not the right person. And here's what we do know. And this is something we have learned, we have witnessed, and we can now honestly say is a true statement. It takes 48 minutes, at minimum 48 minutes, for someone to start to trust you, right?
Yeah.
So if this is your 4th time listening to an I Love Coaching podcast that, well, usually these are 30 minutes long. If you do 4 of them, that's 2 hours. You should trust us double as much. Right, Jess? Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, 48 minutes is where you should be gaining and shooting for as it relates to building your trust. And we're going to give you, again, these mechanisms on the how-to. And as Jess said, we're going to show you the time that associates with them.
Yeah. So do you want to start with number 1, which is, to me, the slowest and the lowest in the proximity game that we're playing?
Yes. And so I'll share them, and you can add the layer of trust and the speed at which it works.
Okay, let's do it.
And this is so fascinating. This one is so fascinating because I've lived in this space. I even remember when they came around in the social media world, and everyone was blown away by them. It's like, wow, you can do this. That means everyone's going to start to follow you faster. And that's ads, right? People think that they can go put an ad in the social media world and people are going to instantly click on it and go right to whatever their funnel is or go right to whatever their product is. But let's pay attention to what an ad really is. An ad, and let's just talk through this as from a social media standpoint. An ad on social media is just like you driving down the highway and seeing a billboard. A billboard is an ad. Okay?
Yeah, it is.
It is. As you drive by that billboard, you may drive by the same billboard every single day on your way to the office or on your way to wherever. How frequently are you actually calling that attorney that you see on that billboard? How frequently are you calling that roofer that wants to come put a new roof on your house? How frequently are
Do
you
you
calling?
even remember them, even
Right.
with passing them 100 times? The answer may be no.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the crazy thing about ads is at most you get maybe a second of somebody's
Yes.
attention. A
Yes.
second. So if we're talking 48 minutes, you have to multiply 48 times 60, right? And that's how many times they would need to see your ad in order to begin to potentially trust you.
Right.
That's ridiculous,
Yep.
right?
Right.
And so it's one of those things where and that's why I'm thinking of previous coaches in our world sometimes is they'll come in and they're like, oh, I have this great product or I've got this great idea for the way that I'm going to coach people. I'm going to create an ad selling myself, or I'm
Right.
going to create an ad selling this program or this product that I've created. And
Right.
they'll throw hundreds, if not thousands of dollars into ads and have zero people buy. Or my favorite, they'll have one person buy and it's their mom, right?
That's right. Yeah.
To be supportive. And it's like you're not thinking about what you actually need as a lever to engage somebody, which is trust. Nobody
Right.
trusts an ad.
No. Again, we're not saying ads don't work. I want to make sure that you hear that. Ads work, but we're talking about this from a trust building mechanism. An ad is the lowest form of trust building out there because, well, they're only spending a second with you. And if it relates to 48 minutes, just told you that math. And that's a long time and a lot of times that they need to see your ad for them to trust you just from one specific ad. So if you're looking to build trust,
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say it's a proximity thing as well.
Yes.
I want to keep people in that space of trust equals proximity.
Right.
And ads do not create proximity to you, right?
Nope, they do not. They do not.
So
let's go to the second
that's where
one.
my brain was.
That's okay. You did great there. The second one, Jess, is don't share what it is yet, but bring it to light in the sense of time and trust space.
Sure. So our second space is still a digital space, right? And it's something that has been around a long time.
Yeah.
And it does garner the opportunity for more trust and a little bit more time. But instead of a second, it could be a few seconds to maybe maximum a few minutes, depending on the breadth and depth of it, right?
Right. Yeah. Now, I still love both of these spaces. I think that they're very good tools. I think they show and build authority. Though, as it relates to time, they are not closest to being the longest. And what we're talking about is newsletters and blogs. Right? Blogs are still fantastic for SEO. Newsletters are still fantastic for building authority. As we are sharing with you in this podcast and this YouTube, is that at the end of the day, if time equals trust, someone's only going to read your newsletter or your blog for maybe 1 to 2 minutes at most. It could be even less than a minute because if they open your email, they see it's a newsletter. What do most people do? See the title and scroll to the bottom. They're not going to be spending a lot of time with you. Still valuable resources, but they're not spending a lot of time with you.
Well, and it's more trust building in the fact that it's likely at least somewhat your own written word, right? Whether it's the blog or the newsletter, it's copy and content related to who you are, what you do, and how you serve somebody. So that helps, even if the time is short, build trust faster than something like an ad that often is a visual or a video and not the written word and can be created 100% by somebody else on your behalf.
Yep. Very, very true. Okay. So we start with ads, lowest trust builder, least amount of time with you. 2, blogs and newsletter. Again, a little bit longer in time and a little bit bigger in trust building. And now let's go to this next one. This might stop some people in their tracks, though we're going to bring this to light with you in the form of time and trust because social media is number 3 on our list. No way, Adam. No way, Jess. That's got to be way wrong, wrong. I have so many people that trust me on social media. Prove it. Now, here's what I mean by prove it. Social media is a great platform for a one-to-many approach. Social media, though, and I want you all to hear this, is an edited form or edited version of you. Okay? So this is why it's number 3 on our list. It's simply because people don't find social media as a high trust building mechanism because it can be edited. And people like to look good and be right on social media.
It's a snapshot, and it's a curated snapshot that you're choosing to put out there. Right. So it's a diminished level of authenticity, right? Because of the fact that it's curated and you can choose what to show people and what not to show people, you know, and I know we're in currently, you know, here at the end of 2025 in an age where authenticity online matters to people. Like, it's actually less about the perfect photos anymore, but you can still choose what people see. You can still choose what people hear in a much smaller contained setting. And so it's more you, it's more photos or more short form video of you, but at the same time, it's still not a lot. Seconds, I think the top 10% of performing reels have viewership of more than 9 seconds. Like, if you get 9 seconds, you're in the top 10% of a reel. That's insane to me. The math is still not your friend if you're headed towards 48 minutes of people watching your content in 9-second increments.
Yeah, go to your Instagram, go to your professional dashboard, go look at the best performing reels and go see how long they actually are. And if you are greater than 9 seconds, high five, because you are in a very top tier group on social media. Though if you're looking to get to 48 minutes to build trust with someone, that's going to take you a long time, from a 9-second process to 48 minutes, Jess. So that's why we put social media at number 3.
Okay. So what's next?
Ooh, number 4.
Yeah.
How fun number 4 is. Why is it so fun? Because we're doing it right now. It's a podcast. A podcast is now we're crossing the threshold from ad. Okay, fine. An ad is it's real fast. Blog and newsletter. Okay, great. I didn't say vlog. I said blog and newsletter. Social media. Now a podcast. Podcast can also be edited. Though, again, this is live. This is live. This is being recorded, but it's live right now. If we make a mistake, we might edit it. Kate, don't edit any of this. I want it to be real the whole time. And though time is an issue here with podcasts, our podcast just probably average 25, maybe 30 minutes. You know, we're not doing the Jim Rohn, 2 hours?
Yeah,
2 hours, 2-hour podcast-ish, or the Tim Ferriss 2-hour podcast, right? So podcasts are good, and though they can still be edited, and again, they're not quite 48 minutes, but here's the cool part about podcasts, and Jess, I want you to share also, is you're now getting to be in someone's ears for a certain time period, right? You get to be in someone's pickup line in school, right? Though they can also turn you off real quick if they don't like your content. By the way, that's not a cue to turn us off right now. Jess, what do you think?
No, I think you're exactly right. And it's an opportunity to get in that 48-minute window much faster if somebody finds value in your content. However, you do have to be careful because somebody might listen for a few minutes and then be done, like you said, or you may say something and suddenly they're unsubscribing. But the good news is the majority of your listeners will trust you. However, what we haven't really talked about in these first 4 is the speed is going to slow down a little bit here. So the trust is higher, but you're not going to grow your speed of your podcast audience listening quite as fast as maybe you're paying for eyeballs on ads. So it's this balance or trade-off, as we would call it, of trust versus speed or time, right? So trust versus time. And so the reason you and I lean into podcasting in this list of 7, it's in the middle, right? It's a nice balance for us of being able to be real, authentic, and predominantly unedited. Usually our amazing podcast producer, Kate, that Adam mentioned earlier, will edit out things like if I say or too frequently, but not even then, she doesn't always do it. And it allows people to either hear us or if they're watching on YouTube, even watch us and really build that trust up faster.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So let's go to number 5. Now, number 5, I love number 5. I love it from a sharing standpoint. I love it from an education standpoint. I do love it from a trust building mechanism, though it kind of goes hand in hand with podcasting, right? And that is long form video. Long form video on YouTube. Some people will repurpose content and take a podcast and make it a YouTube long form, though some people on YouTube in an education space and value adding will do long form video. And I love long form video. I think it's a great mechanism. And in the same breath that Jeff's just alluded to, it takes time, right? Now, it takes time to not only build up that audience, it takes time to create the content. It takes time to post it and edit it and then shoot it out. So, and on the flip side of that, it takes time for someone to listen to it. They could put it on 2X. They could get through it quickly and maybe have to watch another one to really start to build trust in you. Or on the flip side, they could easily unsubscribe and then you lose them. So Jess, I still love long form video. I still think it's a very, very good mechanism for building trust.
Well, the reason I like long form video, and it's further along the list than just a podcast in the audio sense, is because people build trust through the nonverbal communication. So if you think about it, the first few that we mentioned, they're all kind of visual or written, right? And it's not really a lot of audio or visual to you, but it's words. And then we head into audio, which adds another layer. It adds authenticity in the voice. And then the video component gives the visual. So they get to see your body language. They get to see your facial expressions, all those nonverbal things that they probably didn't get in those lower levels, right? And that nonverbal communication, which is what 80 to 90% of communication really is the bigger trust factor feature here. And that's
right.
why so many people do well in level 5, 6, and 7 is because now we've added in more senses, which then expedites the trust process here.
So good. Yep. So true. So again, long form video is fantastic. Let's go to the next one because it is in alignment and similar with long form video. But now what we're doing is adding the word live, right? So a live virtual something. So as Jess alluded to, now we're going with the visual, we're going with the audio, and now we're going with, I don't know, maybe there could be even some kinesthetic there with a workbook or something, right? But a live,
or typing in the chat or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
A live virtual is just that. Is it live on Zoom? Is it live on social media? Is it live wherever, whatever the medium platform is, live? Now you're starting to build fast trust, right? You're starting to build trust much faster because this is number 6 out of 7, because people can see you authentically. People can see that you're not edited. People can see that that's what your voice sounds like. That's what your inflection sounds like. They can see your eyes. They can see your swallow. They can see all the actionable things that are going on in your world as it relates to building trust, right? I said swallow only because we've seen those movies where someone's getting ready to tell a lie and they swallow, right? Yeah, they gulp. And it's so true when we're watching a live something or other that do we start to really like the way that we see this person? Do we start to really like what they're saying? And is it aligning with what I'm looking for?
Yeah. To me, the more raw, the more unedited, and the longer it is, that makes it more authentic, right? On top of the fact that you've added in more senses and more opportunities. Because not only is it now watching and listening, like you said, it could be tactile, it could be engaging verbally, because it could be a live Q&A session or something like that. So now you're bringing in that much more. The only thing you're missing is like the ability to see if they bathed or not that morning.
Very true.
When it's a live virtual webinar, masterclass, presentation, whatever it is. And so the more senses that you add in, the more time that you add in, and the more authenticity you add in, that levels up that trust so much faster. And
Yeah.
that
So,
honestly leads us to the number one fastest, which is number 7. And what is that, Adam?
yep. Number 17. Let's keep that word live on there. And now this is live in person, right? Live in person can be you doing a keynote, you leading an event, you leading a mastermind, you leading something, but is live, 100% live, 100% in person. They see you, they can feel you, they can touch you, they can see you, smell you, all those things, right? That Jess was just saying. This is the highest version of trust building out there. Think about this is when you are at an event and if a keynote speaker comes up there, their keynote is probably going to be at least 45 minutes with 15 minutes of Q&A. So we are approaching that 48-minute mark in value content. Then you're going to get 15 minutes of them showing their authenticity, but also their ability to add value and probably have what we call a problem solution cycle. And 9 times out of 10, the keynote speaker or someone giving a keynote is in alignment with what the event or the audience desires. So therefore, the audience is already leaning in. And so when you're giving a live in-person presentation and you're aligned with the audience, you're going to have a greater opportunity to build trust. You're going to have a greater opportunity to convert. And quite frankly, you're going to be able to separate those that want to engage with you from those that don't want to engage with you really fast.
Exactly. And honestly, it makes the lift of trying to build trust with one-to-many approach so much easier because you're much more in control of who you're in front of in terms of a room of a live event than who you're in control of through ads on social media. You can try to control it with, retargeting and all those, parameters and categories and things. But at the same time, your proximity increase is also a control thing, which expedites that trust process time and time again. And so we are not sitting here telling you to do all 7 of these at the same time. That is not the right method to this, but it's leaning into the one that feels most authentic to you while allows you to build trust. And then as you grow, you can add others or add a team member that does another one of those levers on your behalf. So I wanted to put that disclaimer in here if you made it this far, because too many times we hear people come in and they're like, okay, so I just need to time block for all 7. And I'm like, oh Lord, you heard nothing.
No, do not do that. Listen, at the end of the day, all these will work. All these will eventually, one way, shape, or form, start to help you in the space of converting through trust. Though at the end of the day, all of these also have a time runway. Ads have the longest runway to build trust, where live in person has the shortest. And everything in between, everything in between, you get to decide which one do I want to do as it relates to people starting to learn to trust me and the value that I'm offering.
I love it.
Yep. Perfect. All right. So Jess, everyone who is still listening, trust us. Well, almost, because we're like at 25 minutes here. So Jess, land the plane here. What do we need them to go do to be a part of our world so they can keep building their trust in us?
Well, if they need more proximity to us and they want to do it, we would love to invite you to our number 6, which is our live virtual challenge that we run. And no matter when you're listening to this podcast, we're running these usually every 6 to 8 weeks. So you can visit ilovecoachingco.com/challenge and register for our next live 10K coaching offer, which is us helping you understand how you can leverage what you already know and have done and turn it into a profitable coaching business very quickly and easily. And we teach it in just 5 days.
Love it. Landed the plane well there, Jess. I trust you. I know you trust me. Now let's get out of here.
Let's do it.
See y'all. Bye.